So as we came into, hey, John's going to come back, he wants to retire, and he wants to do this one last run, and he's going to come in January, and he's going to go all the way to December of the following year, and then he's done. In-ring career wrestling as a performer, he'll be done. John and I spoke, and John is very much like the quintessential pro in that, like, look, I have my thoughts on things, but whatever you want me to do, I will give you 1,000%.
In this clip, Triple H explains who came up with the idea for John Cena to turn heel during his retirement tour, and why it was almost necessary for him to turn before he retires at the end of the year. What I didn't expect was Triple H actually coming up with this idea to begin with. Now let's get into this clip.
But I went to John and said, what if we pulled the lever that no one wanted to ever pull, and what if we turn you heel? Because to me, it sort of felt like if you never do it, like we kind of just left that dangling there.
See, I think these things excite you as well, though.
Oh, for sure. And then to me, it's, okay, so now we get to write for this guy that's been this ultimate good guy for 20 plus years. We get to turn him bad. And how does that look? And what does that look? And so sort of in the first conversation we had about it on the phone, John is very great with pitches. He sort of lets you get all the way to the end. He doesn't say much. He just listens. And then when you get all the way to the end, he was like, wow.
And what are you pitching on a call like that?
Turning him. Exactly what happened.
What will happen fight to fight, event to event?
No, but exactly what happened at Elimination Chamber, right? Which is, and then what if, Cody is being asked, sell out to me and all that stuff. And Cody says no, and you're there, and it looks like you're supporting Cody. Good for you, telling The Rock to go F himself and all that stuff. And then the unthinkable happens, and you look at Rock, and Rock looks at you, and you kick him in the nuts, and you beat the dog shit out of him and just leave him laying there, and you turn heel. You sell out. Because in your mind, and I always feel like this, like bad guys have to be justified in the why. Doesn't have to, it has to make sense. It can be skewed to like, well, that makes sense. I don't agree with that. I think he's wrong. I don't agree with it. But I see how he could think that, right? So, in John's mind, for 20 plus years now, I've done everything the right way. Yet you've told me I suck. Yet you've booed me. Yet you've said I'm Super Cena. I can't wrestle. I only have 5 moves. I that. Like all the things that he's overcome for 25 years, you can now flip that on them and be bitter, because in your last run, in your desire to have one last big successful run, I know my time is running out, and if I'm going to do this, I might not be as good as I used to be. I might not be as fast. I might not be as strong. I might not be as good of a performer. So I have to sell myself out. I have to cheat. I have to do things that I wouldn't have done the rest of my career because of hustle, loyalty, respect. I wouldn't have done those things, but now I will because I'm desperate in my last hours. It makes sense from the character. So when we go through that and John and I talk about it, and John is like, wow, I didn't think that's where you were going to go with this. That's bold, but I fucking love it. And he was like, I love it because I could be safe and I could be easy and I could come in and I could phone this in and just do my greatest hits and move on, or I can be challenged. This is challenging to me. This is a juicy role. Like, this is me now. Like, how do I make these people hate me?
So what do you guys think? Did Triple H make the right move turning John Cena heel? In my opinion, as a fan, John didn't really ruin anything in wrestling. It almost feels as if he's just acting the part of a heel. He doesn't have any heat and is still cheered because he's simply John Cena. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below, and thanks for watching.